Welcome, Manpreet Balsi, sir.
Thank you so much, Ankit.
Samanvita, please start the session.
Yes. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are finding you safe and healthy. I would like to welcome each one of you, respected faculty members, our guest speaker, Mr. Manpreet Kalsi, sir, and all the viewers for this event. I would like to request Dr. Roshan Matthew, sir, to give the welcome address. Over to you, sir.
Warm welcome, Mr. Manpreet.
Thank you, Dr. Roshan.
We are extremely happy to have you here, uh, interacting with our students. In fact, Amity School of Engineering and Technology and Amity Institute of Information Technology, as such, we started late back in the year 2015. As such, it is a young institute. Even the campus is young. But the way with which we work at Amity is learning locally but evolving a global approach. That's the approach with which we work with. And thereby we conduct a series of interactive programs with experts who are in various fields which is ever evolving, and make the students evolve with a global sense of approach. And we are extremely happy where you are doing some interactive presentations with our students, building interfaces through maybe color scheme, graphic design, virtual design sort of and then enhancing the user experience through such approaches, maybe building interactive designs and all. Of course, we are novice in the field. Please accept if that. But we look forward for your presentation, and I certainly wish that our students as well as the faculty community will be more enriched, so that in due course of time, when we interact with your students, as we may come out with some experience which is enhanced through the current presentation, as well as I wish that this interaction may go in a long way, such a way that it may be a continuous process between we as well as you from your end, and then we may enrich as a whole, we may evolve. With that note, I once again warmly welcome to Amity University, Chhattisgarh, and we look forward for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Roshan, and thank you, everyone. So, yeah, very good afternoon. And yeah, so today I'll be talking about how to get started in UX, and also I'll talk about it's not just about being a good designer. First of all, you need to be a very good human being. You need to empathize with people. You need to understand what's happening around you, about maybe about technology, maybe about how the business works. There are a lot of different things that you as an individual, you need to understand. So yeah, I'll try to throw some light on few of the things. So for that, I'll do is I'll share my presentation first, and then we'll talk about various things. I hope you all can see my presentation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Great. So today what I'm doing is I'll be talking about how to get started in design, whether you're from A background, B background, from psychology, from engineering, or any other design or any other background. So I'll try to give you or guide you about like how you should go about it, what should be the direction, and what you should be doing. And I assume that yes, I mean, like most of you are engineers, so have molded, modified the approach, the presentation, from the engineer point of view. So yeah, so how do we get started in design, and can engineers become designers? So that's the agenda today. So yeah, so let's get started. So many a times since I run a design community, I have so many design students and also like aspiring students who want to get into design from different fields. So this is one common question that I have most of the time been asked. So that is basically, I have been in engineering and similarly other fields, but I want to do something creative. So that's the thing. So everybody can be creative, anybody can be creative. So the thing is how can you transition into design? What is the approach? And what are the things that we should do? And since we are talking about creativity, so the common question that I often get asked is about what is UX, and what are the different things that everyday different designers, be it like UX researcher or UI designer, interaction designer, what they do. This is one of the most I mean like common important question that I've been asked. And so that's why, like, even if you have this question, so you don't have to feel anything, because you're not the alone. There are like many other people, many other students, they also have the same questions. So this has been a constant debate, and not just you but other people also, talking to themselves, figuring out like what should be the direction, what should one do, whether I should get continue with engineering, or how can I use the learnings from my engineering in design, and so on. And also, how can design, the learning about the process, UX process, problem solving skills, how can that also help in your engineering? So there is a very close relationship. You can learn from one field, apply in the other, and it can be like, apply used or done throughout your life. So yeah, so the first thing is that you need to understand and find the real purpose of your life. So I have some background, some experience in human psychology, and also I've been part of this yoga, and I've done some NLP courses and so on. So that's why, like, the first thing that I often ask everyone, my students, is that what is the purpose, what is that you want to actually do in life, and what is that makes you happy. So that internal debate you should go and do with yourself and try to ask this question. So what is that I want to do? Okay, so that is one thing that you should always do. I mean, like, before you're starting, you should question yourself. You should ask yourself, am I really interested in that? Would I be able to continue this throughout my life? So in this case, you should be asking yourself, should I give up what I have learned and pursue design? Should I just give up or continue? I mean, that's one question. Similarly, there are other questions. Should I switch now, or how do I switch? And if I'm in the college, then what should be my next step? And should I continue studying engineering or design? So there are a lot of different questions, correct? So you must also be having these kind of questions. And similarly, this is one of the last one is the most important one, that I don't have any experience in design, and I don't know about like how the designs are done. I don't know anything about human psychology. I don't know about how to conduct research and so on. So how can I learn? So what is the process? So the thing is that yes, it can be learned. You can learn this. You can understand what's happening, what should be the approach, and so on. So it can be done, and it's not that difficult because now things have evolved. There is big demand for the designers. So yes, you can become a designer if you want to. First thing that I always tell my student is, first you should accept yourself as you are. I mean, you should first analyze and understand who you are and what you want to become. Okay, so that's why I always tell my students to first do a SWOT analysis of oneself. So do a SWOT analysis, try to understand what your strengths are, and also what your weaknesses are, and what are the different areas where you can improve, and so on. So basically, try to find your strengths, try to understand like what skills you have, and then try to create a relationship between you, your skills, and the UX and the UI field. And I'll discuss more about those things, so how you can do those and all. So but yes, that's the first thing, you should do your SWOT analysis. And also remember, you can learn design, you can become a designer, but before that you need to understand yourself. Okay, because you are the one who will be selling yourself, who will be one who will go around, applying for jobs and working throughout your life. So you should make yourself as a brand. You should consider yourself as a big brand. Why? Because you are unique, you are different from other people. So that's why you need to be yourself. Why? Because everyone else is already taken. So this is a code that I follow. So first, try to be yourself, try to be unique, and do what you want to do. And here, when I talked about the SWOT analysis, you should try to identify and do these things. So first, you should identify what are your strengths and what are your talents, and also try to understand what are your weakness, and then work on those weakness to make these weakness weaker. Right. So that's the approach you should be following. And also in this process, you should identify what matters to you. Like in this case, if you want to pursue design, if you want to learn design, if you want to learn tech, so you should follow that. Okay, you should follow your interest. Parallelly, create a vision statement for yourself, maybe short term and also long term. So write a statement, for example, for 6 months, like, yes, in 6 months I want to learn this coding, or if I want to learn user experience, or the X part of the user experience, maybe research. And also then define the purpose, the long term goals, and then keep pursuing that. It will be a slow process. Remember that it's not be that you start today and you'll get and learn in like week or a month's time. It's a slow process, and slowly and gradually, like, build your brand, learn the tools that you will need to become successful, and then start making an impact. Start working on real projects. So yeah, so you need to understand who you are. That's very important. So before getting into design, before learning UX, you should understand where your interest is. If it's design, get into design. If it's technology, get into the technology. If it's research, then focus on the research and sharpen those research skills. Okay. So as what I said that yes, you should first define your vision statement, what I want to be. and then hold that vision and repeat that every day. You'll have to follow that. You'll have to work on that every day. It's not just like once you have thought, it will automatically come. You have to work, consistently work on that. So the good thing is that as an engineer, you already have some qualities, and as a human being also we have those qualities. So it will be something around dedication. Like yes, you should be dedicated, right? And honest and trustworthiness should be there. An excellent work ethic should be there. Be it engineer, be it design, everybody needs this. In order to become successful, you need these qualities. So try to work on these small things, small qualities, and try to sharpen those. Natural curiosity. You should be curious about the problem. You should understand and develop the logical thinking, and also question everything, like why this is being done in this particular way. Can there be an alternative way? So logically thinking you should develop. Similarly, in the design, what happens is you interact with people, you present your designs, you talk to the end users, and also the fellow researchers. So you talk to a lot of people because this is a people's profession, right? So you should develop good communication skills and also develop lateral thinking. You should develop the creativity skills, try to be innovative. So all those skills you should try and develop. Similarly, attention to detail. You should be a good team player. You should know how to use numbers, understand numbers, and develop these analytical skills. And in the longer run, you'll have to develop your problem solving skills if you want to be a good designer. And there are a few others that's like leadership, because if you want to grow in this field, you'll have to start developing your leadership skills and computer skills. Yes, you're already an engineer, you know tech, you know computers. So yes, you'll have to understand this in computer skills. And when I say computer skills, it will be related to the technology, tools, and all those things. And you should be a continuous leader. I mean, like leader, learner, and should be able to see everything from a bigger picture point of view. Why? Because it's not just about like working on a screen. It's about creating a product and creating a better experience and impacting life of lots of people. So that's why you should have the ability and understanding to see everything from a bigger picture point of view. And now, since we're talking about UX, remember, it's not just a buzzword. It's an industry where people are working, where people are improving the people's life. So user experience means what? User experience. Or that's UX is called as user experience. Around a decade ago, this word was not common. I mean, people were often called as like, designer, graphic designer, visual designer, or web designer. So those things, I mean, these were the terms. But now with the better understanding of how these products impact people's life, so now, yes, you can see a lot of openings, a lot of companies hiring these designers. So this UX has become an integral part of the organization, and there are different teams working on different products. So yes, so this is a good thing for all, right? And it's not very new. It's new but not very new. Why? Because there were other fields which used to use this UX in some form or the other. So yes, it's not a buzzword. You should understand that. And also, since we are talking about UX, you should understand the difference between UX and the UI. UX and UI are not the same thing. You should not get confused between these two. So when I talk about user experience is about all the interaction that the individual has with the company, then the product, and also the services. So everything that the company offers to the customers, to the users, the end thing, experience that the user gets. So that is basically the user experience. It can be good, it can be bad, it can be somewhere in between. UX and UI, let's understand this. So UX is what? UX is what you want to achieve, what you want to get. It could be improving the product, improving the experience, what you want to build as a overall product. So those things, in this process, what we do is like we involve a lot of things. That is like, we try to understand user goals, business goals, and the roadmaps and all. And also we use UX process to interact with the user, conduct research, and then come up with a product. So it's a long process. It's not just like a small process. There are a lot of different things that we do. We come up with a lot of different artifacts and so on. On the other hand, if I have to compare user experience with user interface, it's different thing. It's the visual design, it's the graphic design in the UX. So that is basically the UI. It covers the design system, the branding, and also the content. Yes, content plays an important role in this. The services or the different things that we do or the activities we do here is we craft or design visual design. We play with typography. We even use a lot of images and illustrations, and also iconography, or use icons to define or design the visual presentation. So yeah, so this is the basic difference between the two. You should be very clear and should not get confused with these two terms, because these are totally two different things when compared. So we should look at UX as the whole process and UI just being a small subset of the whole process. The good thing is that UX is not just about the design. It's not just about the UI designer. There are a lot of different roles and responsibilities in this field, in this profession. So let's understand those things. So everybody who's involved in the project, be it the project manager, be it the business analyst, usability researcher, information architect, technology, that's the developers and product owner, UX designer, UI designer, interaction designer, UX writer, everybody plays an important role in the overall UX process. So you need to pick like one. What do I want to do? Do I want to take care of like everything? Should I learn everything or just focus on one? If you think you're very good in visual design, then you can start with the UI and then move to the other roles. Or if you think that you're very good in research, then focus on the research and then get into the other things. So yeah, I mean, if you want to get into the UX, you can pick one and then move up the ladder by shifting the roles and responsibilities. So anybody can get into the design, into the UX, into the user experience industry. So some people are called as generalists, some people are called as specialists. Specialists are one who just focus on one area. For example, if a designer is only focusing on the motion design, interaction design, and so on, so he'll be called as the interaction designer. That is his specialization. But some of the designers, they are able to do or take up a lot of different roles, like UX designer or researcher, and also the UI design. Sometimes some designers, they are also good in writing. So yeah, depending upon your skills, you can pick many roles or just one role. But the overall objective, overall goal is what? Is to align the business goals and the user goals and create the right product for the people, okay, for the users. And is this the right field? Is this a growing field? Yeah, so it is a growing field because of this pandemic. All of the companies, they have started moving to the digital transformation. All these companies have started focusing on that. Every company is getting digitally transformed. So yes, if you have UX skills, if you have UI skills, then I mean, like you'll have good job. I mean, like, and also a high paying job in the future. So start mastering it, start learning it. It will be a slow process, but it's all good. I mean, like in 6 months, 1 year, you can become a very good UX designer. And these are some of the facts that says that yes, it's a growing industry. So LinkedIn has listed UX design as one of the top 10 skills. I think it comes around like, top 5 skills, but yes, that top 10 is also good, right? Similarly, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics predicts that jobs for UX designers will grow at 8%. 8% is also a good number. Similarly, according to another survey, 84% of product designers had a salary increase in the last 1 to 2 years. 84% of product designers, they have got an increase. And the expectation is what? 20% hike in the next years, coming years. And the average starting salary for UX designer in the United States is $76K. So I mean, this is a big amount. So yeah, so this is a growing industry, and also the designers are getting paid a lot. Why this is the right field? Once you are done with your SWOT analysis, and if you see that you have an interest in UX and you can fit in any of the different roles that I mentioned, be it researcher or writer or developer or interaction designer, then yes, this is right for you, and you can get into this. Why? Because it's a very different industry. It's an industry which, yes, uses all the skills from the different industries. But this will be very right for you. Why? Because it combines both the creative and the technical. So yes, you can use whatever you have learned in engineering. You can use those as well as the creativity and get into the UX. So yeah, so it combines creativity with being technical. So you can use both. And the next thing is that yes, you will get paid a lot. I mean, this is the highest paid profession today. Similarly, there is a continuous growth, and it's hot and rapidly developing field. So yes, this is the right time. Learn and get into this industry. And yes, it's diversity with discipline. Why? Because there are many branches of the specialization. I talked about the roles and responsibilities, right? So researcher, design, usability expert, testers, and so on. So yes, you can get into any. And it's not just one industry. Every industry have started using UX designers. So you can either get into education if you like education, or finance, or even game development, depending upon your interest. And the best thing is that yes, you don't need a degree. You need a degree. You should get a degree if possible. But yes, you can slowly and gradually learn that. Fine. So the better it becomes when you take a degree. So yeah, so you should go to a university and also parallelly take up a lot of different works, sharpen your skills, design skills, UX skills, research skills. So yes, if you think you have those skills, you should get into the UX. And can you become a UX designer with no experience? Yes, you can become a UX designer without any previous experience. Why? Because they come from different industries. So if you're doing engineering in IT and don't have experience in design, still you can get into design. Fine. So it's not necessary to have just the degree just in design. So there is no single path you can get from the field of psychology into design, from the copywriting into design. So yeah, so there are a lot of different ways how you can get into design. The only thing that you need to do is, yes, learn the basics of user experience, learn about technology, learn about how products are made, learn about few other things like how to brainstorm, how to come up with ideas, sharpen the problem solving skills, and so on. So yeah, so by just developing the skills, you can start your journey in UX. So now the thing is that yes, you understood roles and responsibilities, but what are the key skills that you'll have to work on and develop? So yes, communication, I already said that yes, since you will be interacting with a lot of people, presenting your designs, taking feedback, and also when conducting research, asking questions, and so on. So communication plays a very important role here. And there are other things like UX research. You'll have to like do research, primary research, secondary research to get insights from the users and the also from the industry. So yes, you should be very good in doing research, conducting research, and you should be able to look at the whole thing from a bigger picture point of view. So that's why like having a good understanding of like how to create information architecture, and you should be also good in conducting workshop with stakeholders from your company and also outsiders. Similarly, if you can develop some skills around copywriting and visual design, and similarly you should have skills in developing wireframing and prototype. So I mean, like you can pick like few of these, but the more the if you have all, the better it is. And since it's a data driven design, so yes, you should also develop analytics skills.